And hello again. Thank you all for joining us for the second part of today's agenda, which is the IHLS and Share Members Matter meeting. And we are at Edwardsville Public Library. And since we have a hub here in town, we have a number of IHLS and Share staff who are able to join us in person today. And then we also have a few that are joining us through Zoom. So we are gonna go through the IHLS and Share updates. Neither Leslie nor Ellen were able to make it today, so I am giving some updates on just general IHLS things. As you all know, the holidays are coming up, so there are a number of closure dates, including next Thursday, which is Thanksgiving already, and the day after, and then the 22nd through 25th of December, and the 29th of December, and the 1st of January, 2024. So those are some days that are closed. We also know that the per capita grant portal is not open just yet. We do anticipate that'll be opening soon. Whenever that opens, we will be able to get out the information about Public Act 103-0100, otherwise known as House Bill 2789, otherwise known as the anti-book banning bill. So we have resources available already on our website with general information of what we understand as soon as the per capita grant portal opens, because it will affect the per capita grant that is due in next year in January. We will push out all the information we can to help people navigate that. And let's see, and then as we mentioned, as Amanda mentioned, we have the legislative meetup. Sarah put the link in the chat. For those, one thing that I want to stress to everybody is that they update the pages ILA does with which legislators are attending, because a lot of times what happens is legislators want to know if anybody from their area is attending. And also, and conversely, librarians want to know if their legislators are attending. So it kind of becomes this chicken and egg situation. So we really encourage everyone to sign up. And I know we just heard this morning that another legislator in the Metro East region is able to make it. And as Amanda mentioned, the breakfast is on the 28th, which is a Tuesday. It's at Sunset Hills Country Club. That's the Metro East. The Southern Illinois is in Effingham on Tuesday, November 28th, and that is a luncheon. And then on Wednesday, November 29th, there's the Central Illinois Library Legislative Breakfast, which is in Bloomington Normal. And I think that that's all I'm gonna turn it over to Jill, who is joining us on Zoom. Jill, if you'd like to give us an update on HR and also anything about P-Law.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kate. So I wanted to first actually talk about the job board that we have on our IHLS website, and ask everybody to please make sure they're out there updating their jobs. If you do have a job opening, please post it out there. We are now promoting these jobs by attending job fairs. At our last job fair, we gave out over 100 pieces of literature with our QR code. So we are encouraging the community to go out there and to work in all of our local libraries. One thing that I would like to just kind of mention is make sure that when you are posting your job on the job board, you add like about 2 to 3 sentences that really describes what makes your library stand out from the rest. I think that that is very important. As our speakers were mentioning earlier in the presentation, tell your story. Why should they come to work for you in the library? I think that's very important. A lot of times what individuals do is they just copy and paste the actual job description and they throw it in there. And that is some fabulous information to have. I just recommend that you attach that and then you add the job details within the job board posting and just follow the prompts. Our marketing team and our IT team has set it up to where you just kind of fill in the blanks, and it makes it a really great resource for you to utilize as recruiting. The next item I'd like to talk about that I'm super excited about is the ILA HR and Admin Forum. It goes to vote tonight at the board meeting, at the ILA board meeting. So I'm super excited about that. So hopefully as soon as we receive that approval, we can go ahead and communicate to you next steps. If you're interested in joining that forum, I think it's going to be a great resource for all of us from a statewide perspective to talk about HR items that are coming up within our libraries and things that we need to address. So I'm super excited about that. As soon as I get word on that, hopefully tonight, they said they were going to give me an update just to verify that everything was approved, and we'll move forward with that. The next part is the consulting for HR. I am available. Please feel free to reach out to me. There is, you know, on our website, you can go ahead and book some time with me through the Ask the Expert. So please feel free to do that. I understand a lot of times HR issues cannot be put off. So I definitely recommend giving me a call as well. And as I'm available, I will absolutely help you with those issues. The biggest one, as Kate mentioned, is PLAW, our paid leave for all workers. So we know that's been a challenge for a lot of folks to kind of grasp, because they were not very detailed in the outlining of all the specifics regarding the law. If you have something that you're uncertain of, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to give you a resource. One thing I would like to mention, I hear a lot of misconception that this is just a full-time benefit offering. It is not. It applies to full-time and part-time folks that work in your libraries. So please reach out to me. I'm happy to address those circumstances individually, as each one is different and unique. And I'm available to talk with you all on any HR issue. Just give me a call or send me an email. You can send me an email at jtrevino@illinoisheartland.org. I am more than happy to walk through your specific scenarios and issues. And sometimes it's all about just kind of talking it through, so that way we can make the best decisions. So that's all I have, Kate. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to bring forth some of these HR issues.
Thank you so much, Jill. And I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you are reiterating that you are available to our members for help whenever they need it.
Absolutely.
And then I am gonna turn it over now to Sandra and Jace.
Well, thank you. So I am here today because I want to introduce, some of you may already know Jace, but he's one of our newer share staff members, and he was recently promoted to membership engagement. So all of the communications that you're seeing on the website, things coming through the newsletter, Jace has really spearheaded quite a bit of that. He's really got a great knack for that, and so you might start to see him a little bit more frequently. So I'm going to give him an opportunity today to do our share announcements and updates.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you if I haven't already. We've got a few updates for you today. The first is going to be from the Cataloging Maintenance Center. They have quite a few new trainings available. So if you're able to check that out on L2, go ahead and give that a look. There's also a list that you can filter on the IHLS website as well. From Bibliographic Services, we have barcoder refresher training. If you are a barcoder and you have not completed this training, please do so by December 31st. If you do not do so by December 31st, your permissions will be turned off around January 2nd or 3rd when we're back in office. That training is available through Moodle. So just go ahead and go on the share website and get logged in, set up an account for that and everything like that. And it won't take you too long to complete it. This is also for people who have done their barcoder training as soon as, what was it, July of 2022. So if you've done it after that date, you're probably good, but if not, go ahead and just log on and see if you are required to do that. We already mentioned the holiday closures, so again, just November 23rd and 24th, we will be closed, and then December 25th, or 22nd, 25th, 29th, and then January 1st. While we were at ILA, I'm sure some of you noticed that Polaris did have an outage. And we worked as quickly as we could to resolve that while many of our staff were at ILA. But in the meantime, we are working to kind of change the ways in which that we communicate those outages. There's some workarounds that we're trying to implement, but it is going to be a little bit of a process, so it might take a couple of weeks or months to do that. In the meantime, though, you can text Polaris to 84483, and that will give you text alerts for whenever there are outages. That kind of helps to speed up when you get told that those outages are happening. And then our other major update is for Aspen. So if you are signed up for Aspen, there's gonna be some trainings coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have one on December 5th and 13th for the people who are in the first cohort that are gonna be going live. And those trainings are just gonna cover kind of, you know, general questions that you've got, training on how to use the system. There's also gonna be some customization trainings coming up that you can look forward to. That one's in January. So if you have been told that you're in the first cohort, you've probably been contacted by Leslie's Avenue to set up all of, get signed up for all those trainings and everything like that. But just keep looking out for further communications about that. We're very excited for the project, and if you do have any questions, you can reach out to really me or Cassie on the team, Danielle, Zach, really anybody. We'll get you to the right person and get you that information. If you do have any other questions for us, just shoot me an email. My email is jcook@illinoisheartland.org. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Yeah, thank you so much for the update. And now I'm gonna look towards our marketing and communications team.
All right, hi, everyone. I'm Carol Hogan Downey, Communications and Advocacy Administrator at IHLS, and behind me is my partner Shandy, the Marketing Administrator. And so I'm just gonna speak on behalf of both of us today. So a few things from us. First, like Jill said, the consulting is available. We offer marketing and communications consulting as well as, I guess, advocacy, pertinent to today's CE. And that is also on the website, under, if you go to member services, consulting, expert as in business area expert. And so right now there is the HR and there is the marketing and communications. Eventually we're going to be getting finance on there at some point. We don't have a specific date for that yet. And for the Marcom consulting, you know, we can help with things like, you know, your website, or if you have any materials, printing materials, or if you have a newsletter, or really anything kind of in that area. Additionally, we want to, and actually on the advocacy thing, as our communications and advocacy administrator, I am always happy to look into different ways that we at IHLS can advocate for whatever issues are affecting you or your library, especially, you know, if they're affecting libraries statewide, for instance, the cost of e-audio or e-content. That is going to be something we're looking at in this year, in addition to, you know, the other kinds of things that we've been looking at already, like the intellectual freedom stuff, different broadband expansion, things like that. So yeah, just, you know, you can email us at communications@illinoisheartland.org, or you can reach out to us via Facebook, or, you know, any of the other usual communications. And also we want to thank everyone for participating in the triennial member survey. We're going to be analyzing those results and sharing some of our findings in early 2024. So that's all we've got.
Excellent, thank you. Next up is Colleen and the delivery.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Detmeyer. I'm the Delivery and Facilities Director here at IHLS. Just a few reminders here today. The delivery help desk, that's available on our website. And that is where you can submit tickets for, you need extra tubs, you have extra tubs for us to pick up from you, to report your closings for the days that you do not want delivery, and then any various comments, complaints, concerns, anything like that, please go ahead and submit that way. And then, as always, we're looking for empty tubs or bags. So if you have any extras, please send those bags, more specifically the tubs and the bags that we're looking for right now. And then a reminder to please not overfill those tubs. We've had a concern with the current tubs that we're using, and the overall integrity of those tubs has depleted over the past few years. So some libraries are seeing that we are rolling out a new style of tubs that are a lot more expensive, but will last for a lot longer. So when those tubs are overfilled, the integrity breaks down even more and they break even easier. So we've purchased all the tubs we can with our budget this year. So we're hoping these will last until next fiscal year, until we can purchase even more tubs. So try not to overfill those, of course, for the safety of the drivers, but also so we can have enough tubs for next year. And then if you are one of the libraries that are using the new tubs, we'd like to hear your feedback. Please submit a ticket through the help desk, or you can reach out to me directly as well. We'd like to know if there's a better way to explain the way to use those tubs or to improve the process for the next rollout. We've just recently got our next order of around 470 tubs, and those will be split between the Edwardsville and the Champaign hubs. So we're going to work on getting all those stickered and labeled, and we'll start seeing those in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. If you're a larger library or larger volume library, we're going to start with those first and then roll out to the smaller libraries as we have more tubs available. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was as far as how we're communicating with libraries. Of course, we're going to continue the text alert system, but currently with route delays and route cancellations, there's no way to know that all the libraries are signed up or they're not for text alerts. Because we cannot see who all has signed up. We just know how many participants we have. So we're working on a project where in L2, our web administrator, Brant Wengaher, has developed a method that if you're marked as the system delivery contact, we can automatically come up with all of Route 1 emails all at one time and send an email, because currently we're looking up every single library and manually coming up with an email straight together. So it takes quite a bit of time to send out that notification if there is a major route delay or route cancellation. So look in the member connections to come. We'll be setting up instructions for how to do that delivery route notification contact in L2. And then of course, the automated material handling system, we'll be talking about that here in a bit. So that's it for today.
Thank you, Colleen, and thank you, Matt. We saw the question from what's there. So a question in the chat of the text number for Polaris, and Matt got that in there, and we will include that whenever we post the recording as well. And then last but not least, our membership updates. I'm going to ask Anna Yackel to give her updates first, and then me, and then our most exciting news will come from Sarah.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to remind you all that certification starts in January, and that this is something that we don't do just to amuse ourselves. It is mandated by the Illinois Administrative Code 3030.20. So if you want to look it up, there it is, and it tells you what it is. And also, this is important for all of you to make sure that you certify, because you can't get money from the state library for like the per capita grant or any of those things. You can't get grants from the state library basically without being a member of the system. So it's important that you complete that. As I say, it starts in January, and we'll have the exact dates of how long it runs through and the time you have to do that. And of course, if you don't complete that, we will give you a call and remind you. I also want to tell everyone that we will be rolling out iLead trustee portal to everyone in January. But in the meantime, if you have board members, or if you yourself would like to take a look at what we have up and running right now, you can go to the website. I will put that in the chat so everyone knows the address. And it tells you how to sign up for the tests site that we have, and we're asking for people's comments and input and all of that, so we can make sure that what we have truly is answering their needs and it's easy to follow and, you know, just those kind of testing things. So please feel free to join us and there. And I have some requests, and it's been an interesting time these last few weeks. And I have had questions about how your board can go on field trips and still comply with OMA. And I have that question into the public access counselor right now. And when I get an answer, I will be sharing that with all of you. And also I had a question about whether a mayor could appoint themselves to the library board. And you would think, you know, my automatic answer was no, but there's some ambiguity in there. So we're looking into that a little bit further too. So, and I will share the answers to all of these interesting questions with you when I get them. So that's all for me.
Anna? And
Oh,
as
wait.
far as
Let me just say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Okay, now I'm done.
And from a continuing education, putting on that hat now, we are taking off the month of December, so there will be no HR webinar in December and no third Thursdays continuing education members matter meeting in December. They will return in January, and then I am envisioning a more robust offering beginning in March. Sarah's gonna put in the chat, if you missed it last month, I have a working group proposal for members to, basically, I'm looking for people to act as an advisory committee to me as continuing education for IHLS to ensure that I am doing everything I can to meet your needs and the topics and trends that you're seeing in your library. And the areas that I want to expand into next are customer service and youth services, because no matter what size of your library, even if it is just a single person operation, you're doing director work, HR work, youth services, and customer service. And so if you are interested, I'm still looking for some people to be a part of that. If you have expressed interest, I will be getting back to you in the next couple weeks. And I say that everything is gonna kind of kick back in March. We do have some things planned for January, but because we have a most exciting event in February, and I'm going to turn it over to Sarah Taylor to tell us about Member Day.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So I just wanted to give a quick update about our annual Member Day conference. If you're not familiar, this is a day of member appreciation where we offer continuing education, professional development hours, learning opportunities, and games and prizes. The theme this year is Libraries, the Heart of the Community. Our event has moved from the fall to the winter, so it is set to happen on February 8th, 2024. Our day will kick off at 8 a.m. with an exhibit hall, and our opening session will start at 9 a.m. We'll have 13 other sessions throughout the day for you to choose from, with more chances to meet with our exhibitors throughout the day. And we'll end the day with an attendance prize drawing. You should get an email really soon with a link to registration, and if you sign up before January 8th, you will receive a special treat. So any questions about Member Day?
I actually got an email yesterday, or I think it was in the shared newsletter yesterday.
Yeah, we did put a quick announcement, but we haven't sent out our registration email, so once that email comes out, you can register for the event. Shandy, I think you have some more details.
Yes, okay, so it is up live on our website, so you'll be getting your email probably towards the end of the day today. But meanwhile, it's illinoisheartland.org/member day, and that'll take you right to the event webpage where you can get all those details and you can start registering.
Thank you.
Thank you. And before we move on to the presentation that Colleen will be giving us today, does anybody have any questions for IHLS or share staff, or anything that you would like to throw out to the entire group as far as a question or topic you'd like us to discuss? Give everybody a few moments. Joel.
Is anyone else's staff had trouble with the registration link for the harassment training? We've had a couple of staff members register in L2 and then just never get the link to attend the training.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up. If you didn't hear, there was a hitch with registering for the sexual harassment training through L2 where people signed up and they did not receive the link. That is something that on our end, we have been working with and kind of struggling on how to best put that in L2 because of the way the training is set up and the way that L2 is set up. Jill, you and, well, we can resolve that, or is that?
Absolutely. If there are any issues, Joel, I mean, please email me directly. I am more than happy to kind of look into that situation. Sometimes there is a lag time that goes from signing up to getting that actual email. And for whatever reason, for some reason, if they have Hotmail accounts, Hotmail is not allowing those emails to go through. I have no idea why. So sometimes it just results in just kind of getting a different email address, and sometimes that works behind the scenes. But please reach out to me if you have any issues with getting your staff set up or they're not receiving the emails. They do tend to go to your junk folder sometimes because it comes from and the GB risk control is the name of the email that it comes from. So sometimes that throws them into the junk mail. So I always tell folks, check your junk mail as well to make sure that they're not in there. So reach out to me. I wish we had a better solution like Kate had mentioned, but because we're having to go into 2 different systems to get this registered, we're still trying to kind of work it out to see how we can, maybe make some enhancements here for the coming year.
Anybody else have any other questions? If you see the link, probably online. In the chat, we'll discuss them
As soon as we can, we're gonna
There we
turn it over now to Colleen again to give a presentation about a topic that I know a lot of us are interested in, have questions about, and that is the automated materials handling system.
All right, thank you everyone for attending today. I'm going to go over some of the automated material handling system benefits and questions today. And if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or write them down. We'll have plenty of time at the end to go over all the answers. So, all right, what is an AMH?
Working.
There we go. Okay. All right. So what we'll cover today. What is an automated material handling system? Why are we considering one? How can we tell if it's worth it? Where are we in the process? And what do we need from our members? All right. What is an automated material handling system? It's a tool or system of tools that removes the need for manual interaction to check in, check out, move, or sort materials. We're going to play a short video from our trip to the St. Louis County Library, where they have an automated material handling system. This is a book shoveler, and they are using the Linkso system. That's the brand of the automated material handling system they have. And as you can see, they have one end where the actual library employee is putting books into the AMH machine, and then on the other side, that book to shoveler is putting books out. So then it can kind of interconnected, do one at a time. And then items will go down that conveyor belt, and as it goes through, it reads either the RFID tag or the outside barcode, and then it already knows which tub to drop that item into. As those items are dropped, the Linkso machine specifically, it kind of has system where it does every other item, so it doesn't stack them all up too. And then you can see there, this is what the screen looks like when the tubs are getting close to being full, or if they're still allowed to have items put in there. So that's just a short little clip I believe Shandy made for us from our trip there to the St. Louis County. Right on there. All right, so why are we considering one? There are some potential benefits for our member libraries. So the long-term cost savings for share member libraries will be seen through the saving of paper, sorry, I couldn't think of the word there. So the MH machine will route items with barcodes instead of labels. So all those miles of receipt paper that you use just to get the item through transit will no longer be needed if you are a share member library. There will be a faster turnaround of time after weekends and holidays. So the IHLS sorting staff will be able to sort those heavy loads, such as those due to weekends or holidays, in one single day, versus currently we sometimes have a multiple day backlog that occurs after the weekends. There'll be more accurate sorting. While the missorting isn't common, it does happen. And when an item is sent to the wrong library in another hub, this means it could be over a week before the item ends up in the hands of a patron, versus the same next day whenever the AMH machine is able to sort that item correctly. So this would further reduce this occurrence. We will also have pandemic resistant sorting. With the low touch nature of the automated material handling system, it would disrupt the future. It would not make a disruption from future pandemics or similar emergencies, and they would be far less likely. There would also be the more accurate data tracking and statistics. The automated material handling system will allow for items status to be automatically updated in Polaris. This allows the library to be able to know exactly where the item is in their transit journey. There's also a potential for sorting holds and returns for the share member libraries. This is a feature that we need to determine the feasibility on and something we're currently investigating in. But if this would work, the share members could elect to have their holds versus their returns sorted in separate bins, and this would allow for member library staff sort time to be reduced. There are also potential benefits to IHLS. So, of course, reduce long-term operating costs to IHLS. Our personnel costs would be reduced through decreased total staff hours. We would not be eliminating sorter staff at all. As you can see in the video, we absolutely will still need staff to run and operate the machine. This will likely be accomplished through our attrition-related staff reductions. And our biggest concern is the staff turnover in these sorting positions. We have to frequently replace sorters, and this is statistic from the previous time I looked at this, which was about 6 months ago. I haven't updated it yet for today, but over the last 18 months, of the 11 sorter positions that we have across the IHLS hubs, we have lost and needed to retrain one sorter on average of every 2 months. So there's a definite cost for IHLS for that. And this has been a trend. It's not just that it was over the last 18 months. It has been occurring for at least 5 years now, where we're having to frequently replace sorter positions. So the onboarding cost is an estimated $1,000. And then there's also the administrative cost of onboarding and training staff. And this has nothing to do with the same timeline whenever they are terminated. So that's a definite cost to IHLS that we would be seeing a reduction in. There's a faster turnaround delivery time after weekends and holidays, which I kind of already touched base on for the member libraries. It's also a benefit for us. And then the increased efficiency through increased speed. The number of items that sorted per hour would be much higher. So that this would help staff ensure that all items are sorted every day. A typical automated material handling machine can sort on average 2,000 items per hour. And the current IHLS manual sorting method will average anywhere from 300 to 400 items per hour. So that's a big change in the number of items that can be sorted. Of course, there's a reduced likelihood of chronic injury. The sorting bins will be able to be adjusted to the employee's heights, and this would provide a safer and ergonomically adjustable workstation for our staff, which would help to further prevent injuries and workers' compensation change. or claims, I'm sorry. And then the last bullet point is no major changes to our current infrastructure. So while it does seem like this automated material handling system is a big machine and a big change for us, we're not going to have to change our current infrastructure. It actually only takes one single outlet and one data cable to be able to operate this machine. So we will not need to go over any major infrastructure changes to be able to install these machines. But is it worth it? How much will it cost IHLS? How much will it cost member libraries? And how long will it take for us to see a return on investment? How much will it cost? We're in the request for proposal stage, and this request for proposal will allow us to determine the exact cost of an automated material handling system at all 3 hubs. In fall of 22, when we did the request for information stage, when that was just for the Edwardsville location, we received responses that the machines could range anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 for the unit at the Edwardsville location. This, of course, depends on the vendor that was selected because there's a big difference in the machine cost. How much will it cost member libraries? IHLS member libraries do not pay fees to be a member of IHLS. Therefore, members would not see a fee of any sort related to the purchase or the operation of the automated material handling system. Also, no portion of those fees will be passed along to share members either, as this machine would be purchased and maintained by the IHLS portion of our funds. What about other costs? The only possible costs that are related to libraries, which we do know can be big for some member libraries, are the rebarcoding of some of their items. So there's a lot of factors here to consider. So this is if and only if you are a share member library that we would need to potentially consider this. If you have the items on the inside of your barcode of your items instead of on the outside, because the machine would need barcodes on the outside. But if you have an RFID tag and have them on the inside, it would not matter. The machine would be able to read it through the RFID tag. And then also the items that are actually just circulated outside of your library. So if you have items, you don't necessarily need to go and barcode your entire collection. It would just be those items as they're circulated outside of your library that would need to be rebarcoded. So IHLS staff are currently evaluating how many libraries this will affect. And some libraries have indicated that they would like the help of IHLS staff to rebarcode, and we are definitely interested in doing that. So whether it's the use of barcode duplicators that we're loaning out and you would like to do the rebarcoding yourself, or IHLS staff taking our time to use those barcode duplicators, we are interested in looking into this and helping you accomplish this task. We have heard positive reviews from libraries in other states that have been through this process that have used the barcode duplicators with no issues. How will IHLS pay for this? We're of course exploring grants as a way to pay for this, but we also have a general fund reserve balance that we have accrued over year that we have saved, and that's a potential way to also pay for these machines, and we do have enough in our reserve with the estimated costs as they are right now. How long will it take to see a return on investment? This will be calculated by our IHLS finance and operations staff after we receive those RFP results. The current return on investment is around 7 years, but a typical lifespan of an automated material handling system can be anywhere from 10 to 15 years, as given from the actual companies that have returned or that replied to the RFI. However, we do have some AMH customers that have reported that their machines are still in full operation and they're nearing the 20-year mark. So the 7-year return on investment would definitely outweigh the 15+ years of our hopeful lifespan of this machine. So where are we in the process? In the first stage, we did staff research and we issued the request for information to get more information about how the automated material handling system would work. In the second stage, we brought in members, we formed a working group, we did more research on the member needs and the machine capabilities, and then we made the decision that we should go ahead and issue the RFP to be able to determine more exact costs on that. So we're on stage 3 right now, and then in October, we began working with a consultant, and he is going to help us not only just write that RFP, but it's going to include the circulation data analysis, making sure the numbers that we're reporting appear to be accurate and helping us determine our workflows and what the timeline might be. And then, of course, determining kind of sorter savings we might see in the number of hours. He's also helping us create that implementation plan so that if we do decide to move forward, we've got that implementation kind of drafted, because the RFP vendors will need to know, you know, how long and how many months apart we'll be installing these machines and when they'll need their staff to be able to be on board. And then obviously the RFP development, and then all the communications with our vendors. And then he'll also be traveling to do the site visits with us whenever we have those site visits open for our RFP vendors. So in January of 2024, we aim to have that RFP posted. And then we'll also be doing some additional rebar coding analysis with our member libraries, so we can have a better gauge on what those costs might be when we go to determine our return on investment. And then in April, in March, we'll be opening those results, and then in April, we'll have those results of those RFP posted, and the return on investment will be completed. And then in May, the IHLS board will make that decision if we decide to move forward with this automated material handling system or not. So what do we need from our members? Soon we'll be posting a savings calculator on our website, and we need volunteers to help us provide examples of the estimated savings. This will be not only the paper savings, but then staff time as well, whenever it comes to checking in an item on the machine versus, or with the machine that we're utilizing with versus without. And we'll have a full explanation of all that on our website. We also need help determining the rebar coding plans. How many libraries will this affect? Who needs our assistance? Because we need to include the IHLS staff time and include that weigh-in from our member libraries on our return on investment calculations. And then the barcoding placement communications. I know this has also been a hot topic, and it's very important. So in the delivery survey that was released last year, many participants indicated that the formal guidance on the barcode placement, if it was developed, that a vote by members would be the best method to determine placement. At this point, we're just thinking that it just needs to be on the outside of the item. Of course, I know that in other states, their state librarian has indicated where it needs to be for all libraries so that it's easy to be able to find. So we're kind of navigating through this right now and deciding what's the best for all of our member libraries. And then lastly, we'll be doing a container level check-in determination. This is a buy-up feature for some of the machines, and we don't know if this is a feature, it would only be beneficial essentially for our member libraries. So we need to know if that feature is worth IHLS investing that cost in or not. So stay tuned for communications from us, and that will probably be in January regarding this information. If you are interested in helping with this process, you have questions or concerns, please reach out to us. My information is listed here, and it's also listed on the last slide. We have a full portion of our website dedicated to this. If you go to illinoisheartland.org/delivery, there's a tab there on the right-hand side that says the AMH project. And a lot of this information that is in this PowerPoint can also be found, plus more additional FAQ questions on this. So thank you very much for today, and now we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you, Colleen. We did, I was gonna say, we also have a question through chat.
Sure. We'll go ahead and do it first here, yeah.
If our barcodes are currently inside our items, should we like be moving toward moving them to that side, or should we wait for their work to do?
That's a touchy subject. We don't, what I've been saying.
You know, 300 to 400 items a month just from our facility that we're slapping on the inside.
Yes, I know, and that's where we're like, we can't give formal guidance yet because we don't know. Based on the past RFI, it seemed like it was promising to move forward with it based on cost, but that was also done back at the kind of at the beginning of the pandemic. So we just don't know if the costs are worth it or not. If you think it might be best and you don't want us to help you rebarcode and you want to do it with your staff time, it may be a good idea to go ahead and start doing on the outside of items. So I can't get formal.
I mean, I can think of both. I'm thinking at some point we'll need help with our existing collection.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm thinking of new items as we process
Yes.
them. Should we just make that move now?
I think it's a wise idea to do that, just not only for your items, but I know that that's a concern between a lot of member libraries is the amount of time that circulation staff spend trying to find where a barcode is.
Yeah.
Because when items are sent through share, you don't know where it's gonna be, and that's where we would love to try to come up with a formal guidance of like, here's where the barcode be, but is it our place to say that. Yes, Andrew, I'm sure has a lot to say.
I do, and we have had this conversation multiple times of barcode placement, and every single time people are very, very adamant that we need to have a standardized barcode placement where they put their barcode. And so that's the right place, and so that is really tricky. And so we talked about it as share committees, and have just left it up to libraries to make that decision for themselves. But we are watching this process very closely because we all agree that it would be very helpful, but we just couldn't agree on what that place was, if that makes sense.
So if we decided on our own that right away, we need to move our barcodes to the outside. I understand the ground I'm treading on, but do you have a best recommendation? You know, if we're gonna jump.
Do you have one? I
Top right,
unfortunately
top
don't.
left.
I personally, I'm not speaking on behalf of Share and any of the committees. I personally think the top right is the best place, but you need to make sure to avoid any cataloging data, USB, you don't want near a USB, or anything like that. That's what I think, but there is also some argument that being on the left-hand side would be helpful for inventory. So again, it's very much, people have very strong feelings where the right place is. And that's really where everybody agrees it needs to be standardized. If everybody agrees it's standardized to where they think it's the right place.
Yeah.
But you made the change.
But outside of
Yeah,
that, we had ours in, we moved it to the front page, and our staff love it. Cause they don't have to open books, they're not searching through, I mean, it's been, this is one of the most positive changes we made during COVID.
Oh, I agree. I mean, this is the first library I've ever worked in where it's inside.
And so.
I wish we had a more formal answer for you, hopefully soon. And I don't know, like, I love when I heard that the state librarian just gave the recommendation in other states, because I'm like, maybe that's where we need to start, but we haven't obviously even proposed that, so.
So here's a question from the chat that kind of goes along with that. Is it okay to put the barcode on the back of the book? Would there be any problem with the machine reading the ISBN label or USB or that label by mistake?
What we've heard from the consultant is no, there's not going to be an issue with that. It's going to be on the outside of the material, both on the top and the bottom, no matter which way, if it's barcode first or barcode the other way, the machine will just read that barcode no matter what. And obviously, if you have an RFID tag, it'll read that first. So if, basically the way that machine operates is it goes and looks for that RFID tag, and then if there is not an RFID tag, then it reads that barcode and then it continues to go on. So it can read on both top and bottom.
And then we have another, it's not so much a question, just a comment and a question about the increase in energy costs and how sorting will occur during electrical outages.
Yes.
And then they were concerned if this is a green initiative.
Oh, interesting. I'll need to double check. I did not double check that question about the efficiency. I do know that since it operates on a single plug, it should not see a major increase in energy costs. And I'm going to reach out to, I know Decatur Public Library, not to put them on the spot, but they have an AMH, and that is where I got to see one live and in person. I've been in contact with Carol there, so I'll ask her about their energy costs with that. There's a second portion to that.
Oh, no, that pretty much, and that answered it, and then somebody just suggested that perhaps solar might be an energy.
Oh, but they asked about the electrical outages as well.
Yes.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, no, I was like, I know there was a second part to that. Overall, in general, we do have a backup generator at the Edwardsville office. However, if we did not have power, we probably would not have staff working in the building anyways. So this would not really affect our operations because we try not to make staff work when there isn't power anyways. So, but it does require, of course, the use of internet and power to be able to operate, which obviously we're used to our manual sort method now. And many of our sorters and operation staff are used to that. And I should mention here as well, the items that are going to be sorted through this machine are share items only. So member libraries who are standalones, the ILDS items, anything that's sent for cataloging or CMC, those items will not be sent through this machine at all. So you do not have to worry about the preservation of historic items or stuff like that. those will not be sent through this machine. So IHLS staff will still have to hand sort some of the, standalone items, but based on the data that we've downloaded from the past couple, we've varied a couple years and compared the data. The amount of time that we'll still spend hand sorting those standalones will not take up a large portion of our time. A lot of our circulation is through the share program, and that will greatly benefit our staff with that savings, so. Are there any other questions?
No other questions that came through on the chat. Does anyone have any questions, comments? And we'll make sure whenever we post the recording of this, that we'll have your contact information if anybody has any questions or thinks of anything, because I know every time it's like you're being put on the spot of what questions you have. And after we end this, you might have a great question. So please feel free to reach out to Colleen.
Absolutely. I would love your input because I want to make sure all things are considered before we move forward with this. Yeah.
Excellent, well, thank you. And if no one else has anything that they would like to add or any questions they have, anybody remember on the staff side, something that we forgot to mention at some point? Okay, it is 11:51 and we're gonna go ahead and thank everyone for joining us. Have a wonderful holiday season. We will see you again in all Zoom in January because who knows what the weather will be like. So we'll see you in January for the next third Thursday CE and Members Matter. Thank you all and have a great day.